Subahu and Accent, good morning. Welcome to ArtFlakes with Felix. And today, kama kawaida. Yeah, that's the Swahili word. You know that?
Yeah, Swahili?
Kama kawaida.
Anyway, I only know a little.
Like?
Bariga Subui.
Bariga Subui. Wow, who taught you that? Have a handshake.
Yeah.
You know, you do your handshake.
Yeah, you see. Anyway, dear viewers, today you can see that we're moving from another language. This is not Somali. Now we're moving into Kenyan literature. We want to go into the world of Kenyan literature. We want to explore the drama, the prose, the poetry, as we have said in the last episode. And I'm sure you are going to enjoy the show. Just watch out. Today we have our guest again. The man who shook Adarawi content, you know.
The last time I said it, you're like, what?
You remember his name? That's
Mr.
Abubakar. Abubakar Isiaka, a critic, a poet, and you're welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much, Mutiu and Felix. Once again, we are here, and today I think we are landing on the Kenyan country. So, to my Kenyan people out there watching this show, I say, when we go. How to learn that?
What's that? What is Omega?
I think, how are you at there? I suppose it should be.
That's fantastic. At least he has been able to give us another one.
Okay, Omega, it is one of the languages in Kenyan.
That should be Kikuyu, right?
Kikuyu. And because I think you learn it because you're talking about, we want to touch on some of the work of Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Ngugi wa, you see, you cannot talk about Kenyan literature without mentioning Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Sure.
He's a father in that aspect.
Right.
So you have to give kudos to him because you know, when we say when you want to start a journey, you go and knock on the houses of the important people first and tell them, oh, you have arrived here. So that's how it works. You cannot talk about Kenyan literature and excuse Ngugi. He holds a prominent position there.
Today we're going to Kenya.
Yeah.
And we want to look at some of the literary work done in Kenya.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea some of the writers that are doing great work in Kenya?
Automatically, as we have already said, we have to talk about the father before we talk about the wife,
The children.
or the children like that.
The children.
So we're going to start with the father, that's Ngugi wa Thiong'o, right? So what other writers do you think we're going to explore today?
I know Mr. Gita Imugo. I don't know if I get the name correctly, but you say I'm not good Kenyan names. It's not.
And there's another one recently who won a prize, Khadija, right?
Khadija Abdullah Bajaba, and
Yeah.
we also have Margaret Ogola.
Margaret Ogola, yeah.
Yes, and Binyabanga.
Wainana.
Wainana. All right. Okay. So I think those are the prominent ones. Except you want to let us mention. I think is Okot Ibitek from Kenya?
Okot, a little bit is in Kenya.
Yeah.
A lot of literature work he does either in Uganda. Yes.
That's why we might, when we get to Ugandan literature, we'll talk
You have that.
So that's why we shelve that for now.
So let's start by looking at Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Yeah.
What are some of the literary work that he has done that made you understand?
A lot of works. He has written very much work, and I think his first novel was With Not Child. And it chronicles the Mau Mau struggle, getting towards Kenyan independence, looking at the past and the revolution.
Yeah.
Well, what happened there? It's actually told from using the eye of a small boy. I think Joroge, who acts as the protagonist. And we see the story, how the life of a young child is destabilized.
I want us to look at it from the language perspective. With Not Child. When you see it for the first time, what will come into your mind when you look at the content?
With Not Child.
From the title.
Yeah.
I basically, when I saw the book, I was expecting a story about a mother pampering a child who is sick or something, but I came to discover that it was beyond that what I was looking at.
So imagine you are given a title like that, and you've never read the content.
Yeah.
How would you have written that story? With Not Child.
Maybe something in line with. Have you seen Chinua Achebe's Madonna and Child? Like when we wrote during the Biafran Civil War.
Yeah.
I would be looking at something similar to that. We've done child, the child in.
What about the river between? I
think the thing is
the river between.
The river between.
No, the river between also basically from what when the river between actually has to do from what you can get. That one is a little bit explanatory that a divide between.
So you are going to have a kind of dichotomy. Intracultural dichotomy among intracultural dichotomy among people, right? So the river is between, but you can if you can swim, then you can go to the other side. If you can't swim, then you go stay on your own.
Let's look at when was this guy born? He was born in 19.
It was 1938. Yeah, that means that he's a pre-colonial, colonial and post-colonial writer. So that's why we can even refer to him as the father of Kenyan literature.
Of course. And the funniest thing, his first book was selected by Chinua Achebe, the Nigerian writer, when he came and said that he recommended the book for publication with Iniman when he was asked to head the editor team of Iniman then.
Okay, the editorial team.
The editorial team. So that was one of the first books that we picked and recommended for. that Chinua Achebe picked and recommended for publication. So and that book basically shot Wationgo into limelight. Soon followed by The River Between, and then came A Grain of Wheat. There was Petals of Blood before Devil on the Cross.
And the funniest part, one of his work is this I will marry when I want.
When I want. Because I was like, what's that?
that one led him led him into incarceration. He was incarcerated because of that work. He was arrested and put in jail, and I think the peculiar thing about him was that even while in jail, he refused to let the bonds of the prison war stop his creativity. He allowed it to flow. So you see that bondage is not in the physical realm; it's a thing of the mind. So within that prison, he was able to create a different story entirely. And he wrote "Devil on the Cross" in his native language on toilet papers, tissue papers. That was where he wrote them. And even at the point I learned the book was about to be, it was almost impounded or something from the prison. The guards came and searched, where is the book? So he kept writing. He wrote the complete story inside the walls of the prison. So even within the walls of the prison, his creativity could not be imprisoned.
And I realized that this guy used to have a name that he dropped. Well, James.
Yes, it was formerly known as James, and I think at the point where it became revolutionized, I think I once heard the story somehow, I don't know if it is the truth, that a priest asked him, you keep castigating Christianity and talking about Christianity all the time. Then what your name is James, and James is a very good Christian name. And he said, okay then, I don't want the name James again. Now he called his editor and switched his name from James Ngugi to Ngugi wa Thiong'o, going by his cultural
another thing
value.
I found out that's the reason behind that. If you call yourself a Pan-Africanist and you say you don't want anything Western, and your name is John, or John, is it Western name or African name?
Of course, it's Western.
A foreign name.
Of course.
And if you keep condemning foreign thing and your name and people call you by that name, it seems that you are joking with the public. So for him to tell the world that I'm serious with what I'm telling you, from today, my baptismal name will be removed. Then he removed that.
So he didn't go beyond
Ngugi wa Thiong'o. So you can see from the beginning to the end of his name, nothing foreign there.
Now, let's look at maybe the last thing about him before we get to other writers also. His thematic tropes of writing. He touched on patriotism, colonialism, struggle for independence, betrayal, love. This guy, could you compare him with Hadrawi of Somali?
One way you see, I will, one way call him Hadrawi in Kenya. Because he's a poet too.
I know. I knew he started with Hadrawi.
You understand?
He don't try as a poet. He tried more as...
But in his work, if you check most of his work, he puts all those different literary devices there. You know?
And all that, but still...
And you know, as a novelist, one thing you have to be dramatic. Automatically, if you want your writing to be very interesting, you can't just be narrating, using narrative beats directly like that. He went beyond that. In some of his lines, you see some lyrical lines, protest expressions like that. And those are created by him.
No, that is because he incorporates songs and proverbs. The things you get from the oral, the common accessible poems, the orality of Africa, of literature. So, you know, it goes, and that's why we say that no writer writes in a vacuum. Every writer writes from the experiences that condition his being. And Ubaji is not an exception. He comes from a background that was filled with violence at the initial stage. He grew up during the Mau struggle. Even someone, I think his other brother was involved in the struggle himself. So, you know, he said that once at a time you have to go to school, you need to be very careful. There were bombs were being thrown up and down, and people, the war was going on, gunshot can just come at any moment in time. So it was a terrible moment for a child, a small child of his age, to grow up. And he grew up seeing all those things. So those things basically were reflected back in his literature. Then he also picked from his
that's
community.
why it's called, I call him Hadrawi. I'm not looking at poetry per se, but look at the experience you've just narrated and look at our previous episode. What you will find out there is that Hadrawi was jailed. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Ngugi was jailed.
It is always a problem with writers.
Hadrawi was a nationalist. Ngugi is also a nationalist. Now, Hadrawi is a literary person.
Focus on using his language.
Ngugi uses his language. Hadrawi uses his own language too, to convey the message to his own people, because he was concerned about liberation of his people. Ngugi also is also a liberator of his own people in terms of culture. All right, so that's why I say you can say it's Hadrawi in Kenya, or the Kenyan Hadrawi, and you call Hadrawi Ngugi in Somalia.
Now, if I say these two writers, sometimes they were agitated with that struggle, how they were pressed on, and that is what made them produce some of their literary work. Because look at Ngugi. Ngugi in his post-colonial works, he focuses on exploitations. He focuses on disillusionment. He focuses on class dichotomy. Don't you think some of these writers, they need, sometimes they produce good stories or good literary work after they have been pressed? Is it because of anger?
Like I always say, it's not anger. It's targeted towards the liberation of the people.
No, come on. Because if you look at some of the good books that they have produced, they produced when they were in that cell.
But what I
oppression.
No, literature, the best of you will come when you are too happy or when you are too sad. You know, when you are suppressed.
That is it.
You know, you get the best of you out. It's not only in poetry. Because you keep writing, need to be fluent, you know. You just keep having that inspiration coming. You can't just have inspiration overnight. Something must trigger that. And that is what happened. These people have the direct experience of oppression, exploitation, particularly during the neo-colonial era.
That's true.
The dogs eating dogs. You understand that? That's the Africans exploiting Africans. You know, so they could not cope with that. They could manage seeing foreign people exploiting, not unhappy with it. After pushing them out, they expected to be free completely. But unfortunately, they were so pained to see their own people.
So it's out of that pain.
Dogs eating dogs.
And it was happening virtually in every African country. It was happening. You know, after when we struggled for independence, we were united as a team. Then even you see the writers teaming up with the politicians to write against colonialism, to castigate it. And we were hoping that after when the independence come, Africans will become free. You know, it will become uhuru, like the Kenyans say. But we discovered that independence did not mean that utopia has arrived. We were still stuck in that old days. It was just a change of masters from the white masters to the black masters.
Somebody said it was only the change of the skin.
That's what I'm saying. From the change of the white masters to the black masters.
And that is
Still, it was still a
imperialism.
slave and trade and a slave and master relationship. That was going on.
I know you can talk more about Ngugi now. Let's move a bit from the central region of Kenya and go to the coast.
Okay.
We have this good writer called Khadija. What are some of the works that you understand that she has done?
Khadija is basically is a new, not relatively new compared to the Ubugis and others like that. And first major works of David Nyogo, which has not been published yet, won a prize. I think what's the name of that prize again?
The House of Rust. That's the
name of the title, but the prize, I'm trying to remember the prize it won for publication. It's going to be published next year.
I think it was Grey
African Prize. African Prize.
Yes.
So, it won, and that was out of 200 manuscripts that were submitted for that. And so you can imagine the massiveness of that, of what she must have done there. So, and you know, she's to be awarded a certain amount of money for that work.
$200,000.
And that is around $12,000.
I mean $12,000.
$12,000. So with them, it gave her a kind of, it brought her into limelight, and everybody wanted to know who she's lady. And you know, she's not even from. She's not an Kenyan Aborigine. She's a Drami. This is from this Yemenese origin.
She was born there, so she can claim to be a Kenyan. But by birth. But if you look at the geography of her, you go into her lineage, you go back to
the Arab Yemen region, and you have a lot of them in Kenya. So and you know, basically, she is trying to bring people into limelight. You know, their stories are not often told as part of the Kenyan people. So she wants to bring them into limelight by writing from her own point of view, and that is what every writer does. Every writer writes from his own background. Then you can move into the world.
I looked at her work about the story of the House of Rust, and I found that she's one of the writers that she decided to use a female icon in her story. So what do you think she was trying to portray?
No, you know, in the modern time now, feminism is now going into. I don't want to talk about this because one way I am a gender activist. I'm not a feminist, but a gender activist. I believe in equity, but you can't have equality. Yeah, there's a difference between equity and equality. You know, in the past we had more men, more boys than girls. Now we have more girls than boys. That's why when you go to classroom, you see more girls in the classroom. In the past, when I was in school, you will not see any girls meeting up with our standard.
No,
because our numbers was much, and so you had the best set of students in the class. Now you have more girls in the class. You see the best of the students comes among the girls.
The ladies.
So now things are changing. But what I found out is that most of these writers, when they come up, they want to use feminism like this. Your lady in Nigeria, what's his name?
Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Chimamanda
Yeah.
You know, she's now an extremist.
No, I think we need
because she has gone deeper into that.
We need to set a date for feminist
you know?
But I don't.
So
no. You are touching on my mother.
Madam.
Sure, madam.
Okay.
Madam, I don't want.
I want to have a specific show on this part.
Yes, on feminism, and I will.
You know, I hate having men exploiting women. But I will not also allow the vice versa
women to exploit men.
And we have seen that happening now. Remember some days in Africa, not only in. Okay, let me not.
We won't talk about feminism.
Anyway, I decided to go.
If we are going to come here about feminism, let's come about feminism.
Maybe our own experience in life. She experienced a lot. She was exploited.
Yes, true.
You know,
the independence.
No. She said you are getting it wrong. She said she's a happy feminist. that people expect feminists to be.
No, I'm not talking about Chimamanda.
Okay.
Forget about Chimamanda. We're coming back to my later, and we'll deal with you in detail when we meet.
I'll be waiting for that day.
But this one, I'm talking about Khadija.
Because they're still in Nigeria.
Somebody in a society where you have, we know, it's very obvious that even in politics, you only have women leader. You don't have men leader. Because that's the post they give them in parties. We'll talk about that in detail. But when you look at why she put that, she just want to show how the experience of women, you know, what they pass through. And I understand women are really trying, but there are those who are going into extreme, which we'll discuss in detail there. But for her, she's just trying to showcase the experience of women, and she decided to have the female as central character. Because of her own experience, and she's given raw experience. As a female writer, you can write better when you have a character that can depict the picture of you in the writing. That's just
because she tries to explore selfishness and independence, the reality in the families and all that. And
that's what I'm telling you. That's what she experienced. She might be a direct, maybe victim of such. And whatever you experience, you can write better. We were talking about Mugi before. We were talking about Rajwai. You know, it's the experience that made them to write that way. So
let the book get published first. Then we are going to see what she has written in there before we can start.
Some people have done critique of work, you know, before the.
Yes, I don't believe on third eye or second eye view of what people say. I want what I can see with my own eyes. If you tell me this is there, let me see it. That's what I want.
Then you want to interpret.
Yes, the way I can. No,
we have a discussion for this game.
Corruption. Come on. You already see it. I'm analyzing based on what
the
I
way
see.
you feel like.
Not the way I feel. Based on what I see.
Literary work. Prose is direct. You don't need to start panabeating or
No.
But
we are going to apply the way within the context of the
Okay, guys. Thank you. Let's go to another person. Let's look at this other lady called Margaret Ogola.
Margaret Ogola she's a medical doctor, and
that's the funniest part. The funniest part
of it.
Yeah.
We have medical doctors, right? She has about three novels, particularly, which she has published. Influence has more to do, not even within her novelistic aspect. It's kind of life she lived, giving herself for others, and being involved in this HIV and AIDS program.
I swear by Apollo.
No, those are her work. I'm talking about her influence outside the literary realm. So, she has one of her books is The River and the Source, and I Swear by Apollo. The River and the Source won the Commonwealth Prize, Writers' Prize in 1995, and another of her book, Place of Destiny, I think, won the Jomo Kenyatta Prize for Literature.
Yeah.
So she's also a prominent writer in Kenya.
And even
she's no longer alive with us today now.
One other thing, why I say it's a very unique part is that literature is a field of everybody and a field of nobody, because it has to do with creativity, and every individual in life is blessed with one unique thing or the other. It is not until you study literature that you can write. You can become anybody can become a writer.
Yes, I've seen lawyers. I've seen
Rajwai did not go to school to study literature. Okay, he didn't sit down to say I'm going to do this like that. Never.
No, the greatest poet of all time, William Shakespeare.
Shakespeare never. But he had teachers.
No, he had teachers in humanism.
He had private teachers.
No, he had teachers in humanism. I think when he was growing up, he was.
So I'm talking about
Rajwai
did not have such like that. They say you are going to learn how to write, how to do this. It's natural. It's creativity. It's a blessing from God. So that is why. To see a medical doctor going into that, despite their busy lifestyle, you know the lifestyle of medical doctors.
Very, very busy.
Very, very busy. They don't even have time for themselves.
We've got one like that in Nigeria. I think we have Wale Okedran. He's a medical doctor too, and he also writes.
And I think that's why her profession, that's why he tends to write more about the medical situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you look at the story of Place of Destiny, it's a novel that it's about a woman who's dying of cancer. You know that?
I've emphasized before, like I've said before, you can't take a writer away from the background that the experiences that condition is being. It must always flow in. I've read After the Flood and Boys at the Border by Wale Okediran. And he's also a medical doctor from Nigeria. There is no way you read his book and not find scenes relating to hospitals, nurses, and doctors. You must always find it in his books. Because that is the area which is familiar with.
Of their writing. You know, what you are familiar with, you can write.
It will definitely flow into it. It will seep into whatever you are writing.
So you'll be able to flow easily because you have enough registers to express yourself.
Now, guys, from Central Region to Coast Region, and then to Ogola, who is from another region. Let's go to Rift Valley. There's this guy by the name Binyavanga Wainaina. What do you know about that?
Binyavanga Wainana, right? Wainaina.
My friend.
Kenyan names they are jaw-breaking. But it's not only for Kenya. I think it's a natural thing. I do hear that some people find it difficult to pronounce Nigerian names as well. And so, but Wainaina Binyavanga is also a popular writer and a contemporary one and well known around the world. I think he was mentioned as one of among the 100 people who are influencing people now in the world, the younger ones of the younger generation. So, and his works has been published outside Kenya. I think he even lives outside Kenya. He lives abroad. So. He has books and he writes on. I think there was a book he wrote about that is how to tell the African story, satirizing the stereotype of European.
How to write about Africa.
How to write about Africa. So stereotyping, satirizing the European stereotype of African communities or African nation.
That's why I call him a satirist.
They think of Africa as one country. Europe. Even the funniest aspect is that even black Africans who are abroad, who have not been to Africa, believe that Africa is just one country. So they will tell you how is Africa. Knowing that you are from a different country, nobody knows, and you say, what do you mean by this? What's that? What country? What did you say? So they barely know beyond their own world. They believe that everything ends and begins in their own sphere, and anything outside it is just it doesn't exist.
Let's look at his work. There's this title that you were saying that. One day I will write about this place.
That's a memo.
It was a memo.
Yeah, it was
his first book, I think.
So I was wondering, what do you think will this contain?
It's a contemporarist, a young writer, born in 1971. Am I right? So one day I will write about this. You know, even from the title, because I want us to be looking at it from the title.
From the title, exactly.
Then you will get to understand if something is not important to you, you're not going to even think of saying, I have to put this thing down, right? So when you have something that is so critical, you say, one day I am going to let the world know about this place, which is unique, you know? So from a title perspective, you can easily decode what the writer is trying to say, that a precious place is very, there's a place that is so unique that the world has to know about. What is that place until you read the book?
So you just have to.
So you say, one day I will write about this place. Just like you, let's say for instance, you are never here, right? And
you don't like to be going
as a foreign person in Somaliland, you've experienced a lot of things, you know. When you're about maybe to relocate elsewhere, you say, I cannot let this go, this experience I had with these people. One day, I will write about this place. Very interesting title. Then you'll be asking yourself as a reader, once you see the title, the next thing is, one day I will write about this place.
What is that thing?
Which place? Exactly. The hook. This place. You didn't, if you mention the name correctly, then you have already killed it. So you need to create suspense from the title itself.
To be concentrated. So
the young writer also lived a kind of peculiar life. And at a certain point, he came out and declared that he's not he's a homosexual, and also he's also into he's also an HIV positive or something. Yeah. So his life, for him to have come out and declared those things, his life has an interesting twist that he wants the world to know, and that is, I believe that's what should be in the book. On one day,
in the contemporaries, they've got lot of things. Life is getting too complicated day in, day out. It's not easy if you are not coping with the pace of the world. Things were too slow in the past. Now, little time you have to do things faster. You have no time to waste with this. So they have lot of experiences, lot of things running on in their mind.
The world is running, and if you slow down, you will not pick up.
It might be pros, it might be cons.
Okay, because of time, guys, I'm enjoying this show. It's awesome. Let's look at the last person. Last person, who is Michere. Now
is it Michere? I've been calling him Michere.
You don't say Michere.
I've been calling him Michere for a long time.
It is
Michere. Okay, just like Michelle.
Michelle. So you say Michere Girai Mugo. Not Mugo.
It's Mugo.
I'm never going to learn Kenya.
No, you have to. You see, what I found out is the Swahili or Kenyan languages are closely related to Arabic language.
Exactly.
So because there's Rain. So when you say Mugo, so easily you can bring Rain there. So it's not like G or G like that. You have to be able to go inside, your side there, Africa.
Let me just give you another simple example. We have Kalamu, we have Kalam, and Kalam.
Okay, Kalam, because Kalam in Somali language, most of the M, they change it to N. So they will say Ibrahim. Kalan. Like Kalam, they say Kalan. The N is what they pronounce. But it's still the same. Like when you look at the Horn of African region, the language is so interesting. So you can't tell me because of
the funny thing is that for years, I've been studying Kenyan literature, and I've read the Child of the Nakimati, more like 10 or 12 times.
Yes.
And the funny thing is that I've been pronouncing that name as Misiri until today.
Michere.
So it's
Michere. It's good to learn. Now,
the next time you're not going to pronounce that. When you travel elsewhere and you have people like you saying Michere, stop. No, that's not correct.
It's Michere. So there's one aspect of this lady that we talk about. She is a playwright. Playwright.
Yeah.
But do you think now it makes her to be on a special level?
Yeah. He's also a playwright, but the people are not focused more on playwriting like the way it was back then. And I think she's a contemporary of Ngugi. She collaborated with Ngugi to write the Trial of the Nakimati, which I still think is one of Ngugi's best plays. I've read the Black Hermit. Even I Will Marry When I Want. I've read it, but I don't think it's fascinating as much as the Trial of the Nakimati. I value the Trial of the Nakimati much more than I Will Marry When I Want. Although people think that I Will Marry When I Want is probably his best because that's what led him into prison or something like that. But then Prowess comes. I think she's. I don't know if she's as much a Marxist as Ngugi wa Thiong'o is. But from what I saw in the Trial of the Nakimati, the combination of both that coming together was of great.
My finding, my research about her shows that she's also a feminist, one way or the other. In most of her work, check the title.
This
the daughter of my people. No, check the title of the daughter of my people.
Yes.
So she's more of womanhood.
It's more like a trend for African female writers to just follow the feminists. But you know, the funny thing is that
because there's money in that area.
I don't want that. I don't want that. If you want us to discuss feminism, date and let's meet you.
Exactly, of course. We're going to go deeper into it.
You know the funny thing.
We look at it from literary perspective.
It is not just the female writers that are feminists. We have female writers.
That's why I'm saying there's this there.
Is partly feminist. There is
it's not a feminist, it's an activist. There's between activism and feminism.
There's
Feminism is just an aspect of activism. And you cannot be an activist and you see an oppressor and you fail to talk about it. You see some of my work as a writer. I've written against gender violence. And you remember this time when this lady was...
How about famous officer?
What's the name of
How about famous officer?
Listen, about this lady that was raped in India. You know,
the story of
Damini was raped in India. Yeah. I published a book about that with an Indian writer. We edited that. We call writers across.
Not when you're consistent.
Of course, I've written more than 5 books on women alone. Even myself, I'm not a feminist. I'm an activist.
You're a feminist.
No,
you're a feminist.
I will not call myself. I'm a gender activist, not a feminist.
You made whatever label you
because you're going to be biased if you're a feminist.
It depends on what definition. It depends on what definition you are.
That's the piece of it.
Okay.
Are you looking at?
By the time I don't want us to go deeply into that. I want a specific session on that.
Okay, I promise you guys will have that session.
Yeah.
Now because of time, guys, I've seen the show so far.
When there was an article I wrote on feminism. I think I wrote that
only one.
On
you don't have the question.
I wrote it on around past women are different, and I spoke about different types of feminism on different levels.
Yeah,
there are the core feminists, there are those we call the womanists, and there are those we call the Gayandris.
Yeah,
Gayandris are male writers who write on feminist issues. So
specifically, they focus on that.
No, it can be put into that category.
No, it can't. It's a category of feminism. Because you know, there is child rights. I asked the world, what about child responsibility? If you are talking about women's rights, are you talking about women's responsibility? My case is balanced.
Okay.
Activism should be fair.
Okay.
You don't
I also believe that activism.
We will talk about this.
Viewers, I think we need to just cut this at this point because it's becoming too hot and hot. And if we continue like this, I think we'll finish like tomorrow or the next day. Please, thank you so much, guys, for blessing this show, the first episode of the Kenyan literature work. Yeah. And because of the second episode, please, I beg, let's leave it at this point.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at something unique, but we want to focus on specifically on Ubaji.
The next episode is all about Ubaji Wabiongo. Please, thank you, pleasure.
All right,
pleasure.
We have to
do the handshake. Thank you guys, please have a nice day.